All right, family. We live on YouTube. We for the membership. We got this file. Today we're gonna be dealing with Frigga, the witch, which they call the Volva goddess of Friday. Who the hell are we summoning? This is a very powerful series because it shows us to be, in many instances we are followers and we're not leaders in culture. You see, we follow behind, the oppressor, the slave master. We swear we this, we swear we that. God damn it, and we can identify critical areas of thinking and social structure and show it to be totally European. Have no other expression than European. And so coming in here, we looking at the days of the week, and we can show clearly that the days of the week are Viking deities, Roman and Viking deities. Now originally they were Roman deities, but under the when the Vikings took over Britain, you see they removed the Roman deities. They removed the Roman deities and they replaced them with the Viking deities. Okay, so when you talk about Tuesday, who is Tyr or Tiwaz, who is a war god, he is synonymous with Mars. You see, he's synonymous with Mars. Then you have Wednesday, Woden, Odin, and he's who is the king of the gods, but he is synonymous with Mercury or Hermes. He's synonymous with Mercury and Hermes, which is supposedly gods of knowledge and occult knowledge and ancient wisdom. And so that's why when you deal with the occult, you got the one guy, Hermes Trismegistus, and so on. And so you hear Hermes a lot when you dealing with hidden and occult knowledge. And so Odin, Woden is synonymous with that god. And then you got Thursday, Thor, who is synonymous with Zeus, who is synonymous with Jupiter, the god of lightning and storms. And then you got Friday, which is Frigga, which is the queen of the Viking gods. And so when we start breaking down her name, Frigga, you see right there, fright. You see, to bring fright to to people. So you see already the frequency in which you're dealing with. You see the frequency. So, we understand that our people have, are original to a whole lot of areas. But the expression that is most time projected to the world is the European expression. You see? And so here it is, when you talk about Scandinavia, rooted in Scandinavia, you get the term scandalous. Okay? You get the term scandalous. The berserkers, who were the crack troops of the Vikings, the berserkers, where they say to go berserk. You see? And they would take mushrooms and shit and intoxicants and go crazy and goddamn kill every goddamn thing in the village. You see, berserkers. And so you got Loki, and that means to loke out, to go loco, Loki. So a lot of these terms are rooted, and there is some African, some more ancient terms mixed in there too. But see, that's where the veil got to be pulled back. You see, the root of the African foundation that's up under there. But nobody's trying to do that. Okay. And so, again, when we talk about, when you say, a lot of people don't understand that. You are worshiping these deities. One of the most, one of the common phrases that a lot of people use, especially on Friday, is thank God it's Friday. Okay? Thank God it's Friday. Well, what goddamn God is you thanking? Huh? Who you think? Let's take a guess. So when you say thank God it's Frigga's day, Thor's day, Woden's day, Wednesday, and so Frigga would have took the place of Venus. Okay, supposedly a mother deity. I don't get all off into that. You see, I don't get all off in because I don't see nothing where there's any, maybe for them brutes. You see, from them goddamn brutes and shit that she then gave birth to, but not in the sense of compassion and shit. This is a brute people. You see, it's a brute people. Let's deal with that. Okay, and understanding that Viking is a generalized term. Viking is an action more or less, and Viking mean a raider. Okay, so it don't say where they come from or this, that, and the third. And so let's be clear about that. So when we say Viking, we're talking about ones who go out and raid. Okay, ones who go out and pillage. That's Viking. Okay, and so now let's deal with this. So know that when you also Frigga is frigid. You got fright, you got frigid, you see, meaning it's cold, you see. And so it's some more, damn, it was some more, and it'll come to me. You see, to show you the root of the frequency. You see, the frequency of her name. And so you call on it. And you say, thank God it's Friday. And you call on it. You see, you call on these goddamn Cro-Magnon Neanderthal God. Can't call on no African gods. You see, when it come time to give honor and homage to Africa, niggas, they say, oh, we can't do that. That's paganism. That's heathenism. You see, the Africans is heathen, but they goddamn it, they use these European deities and call on these European deities every goddamn day without question, without hesitation. You see, and this is the hypocrisy of our people. Let's look into some things now. Let's look into some things. Where that at? Let me see. I think it's this thin veil right here. Let me see if this is. Okay, yeah. Is it the thin veil? No, it could have been. Wait a minute. Let me see. Is it the thin veil? It might be. Yeah, okay. Well, we can use this. Now, the thing is, now, let me see if I got the picture of that. Right here. Here it is. Now, what's very interesting, a cathedral in Germany. It was formerly Denmark, but in Germany are the earliest depictions, earliest known depiction considered to be witches in two murals attributed to Frigga and Frigga in is Shelswick Cathedral, St. Peter's, calculated the 13th century. And so you can see at the bottom where Frigga is seen riding on a broom. You see, but it looked like a tree shrub for, at the bottom. And then you see, and so this was where you get the depiction of the modern day witch. So you see, when they say that's when, so when you get to hearing Wiccan and shit, they don't have no problem. They don't have no priestesses. They don't have no damn priests. They have witches. Okay, that's what they call them. But in the Germanic tongue, it is referred to as a Volva. But that's exactly what it is. It's a witch. You see, and so the modern day witch riding on a broom is from the earliest depictions of Frigga that they have over there in Germany, which is carved into a cathedral in that was built in the 13th century. Okay, so let's be clear. When you calling on Frigga, you see you calling on a witch. Now, some of these you got witch deities, witch goddesses and shit. So they be goddesses, but they still be witches. Okay, that's their expression that they give off. They are witches. And so imagine that you calling on a witch. You calling on a witch every Friday. Odin is a goddamn, he's the same thing. He's just a warlock. That's what he's known for. crafting all type of spells and shit. That's what he's known for. That's where you get the Gandalfs from Lord of the Rings and shit. That's who Gandalf was mimicked. He was mimicked after Odin. Okay. And so, yeah, we talking about barbarity when you dealing with these people. You see, you dealing with barbarity. These people were not spiritual in no sense, because goddamn, you can't be spiritual and you raiding people's lands and you murdering innocent people and pillaging everybody in the goddamn land. You see, how the hell you gonna be spiritual? You see, y'all a bunch of goddamn plunderers, pillagers, murderers. That's what the fuck you is. And so that's what they they know this, but they still seem to glorify that shit. You know, when it comes to movies and shit, they still seem to glorify. Now, when you talk about a Volva, and it's right here, it says Volva is a female shaman and seer in Norse religion. Okay, they practice Sadir. You see, a Sadir, a spa, a Gadir. When you say Sadir, that means magic. You see, Volva practice Sadir, magic, practices which encompasses shamanism, sorcery, prophecy, and other forms of indigenous magic associated with women. So in that Viking hemisphere, you know, the woman was the one that really performed all forms of magic, and men were looked at as being less than because you had to put on the same garb as the woman and this, that. And so the Vikings looked at men that practiced, or became vulvas as being queer. That's exactly so. In the Viking culture, Sadir, the practice of magic, was strictly for the woman. Okay, so let's be clear about that. And so now when you watch the movie Thor, you will see that even in the movie, his mother, who is Frigga, he say, the goddess, she say, boy, don't you know I was raised by witches? I was raised, she said right there in the movie. You see, so a lot of people don't understand that they've been coerced into practicing witchcraft. You see? Now, I find it funny that we don't want to connect to nothing goddamn African. We don't want to connect to anything. We shut it down. We want to cut it off. But don't cut off no goddamn European shit. Don't just practice that shit over indulgence of the shit. You see what I'm saying? It's no realm of thought in this European society where there's not a indulgent and veneration of European shit. Like I say, you can't even practice goddamn science. You see what I'm saying? Every goddamn thing in there is named after some goddamn European god, some goddamn Viking god, some goddamn Roman or Greek god. So it's just an overindulgence. And so people ain't got no problem with that European. They just got problem with, I ain't African, but you ain't no goddamn European neither. You ain't no goddamn European neither. And so just know that. And so when we're not talking about the landmass, we talking about when you say European, that's a paradigm. That means it started with that European shit started with the European, the Caucasian. When you talk about America, we ain't talking about what was before America. The American aspect is a paradigm. That means you exist within when Americo Vespucci and all of them created, you live in that paradigm. You don't want to live. You say you the original, then that's what I expect you to live as. I don't expect you to live inside the paradigm of Americo Vespucci. No, miss me with that. If you're going to cut off the goddamn African, cut off that damn European. And cut it off. And let me see you work with that. You ain't going to do it because you got the tosis. That's what you got. You got the tosis. So you see right here that in the movie Thor, that Frigga clearly said that she was raised by witches. So when you say, thank God it's Friday, thank God it's Frigga's day, that you is venerating a witch. Now, most people ain't going to know that they doing that. And really, it's not harsh. It's right and exact what I'm telling you. is right. It hit it right on the goddamn bullseye. And when people really sit back and they think about, it's knowledge is power. Knowing is power. And so you can, at least knowing it, when you say something, you say it only to state a fact. You're not saying it in veneration. You're not going, if you know that Frigga is a witch or a European god, you're not going to come out there and say, thank God it's Friday. What goddamn God is you thinking? What goddamn God is you thinking? You thinking Frigga. You giving veneration to this goddamn witch god, is Viking god, goddess. That's what you're doing. Okay? And so now many aspects of this goddess, have some of these even demonic entities like Frau Percher, you see, who is a Christmas demon, a female Christmas demon, Frau Percher. And they call her Mother Krampus. And they call her the disemboweler, where she cuts open the stomachs of, they call her the belly slitter, where she cuts open the stomach and pull out the intestines and stuff the people with garbage and shit like that. I'm like, God damn, who even sat up there and thought of some shit like that? But she's associated with the wheel. The wheel, and also the wheel in which you create clothing, the thread, and so those who spin the wheel and create clothing again. But the wheel was also attached to Frigga because she wove the clouds in the sky and stuff. And so they say that many aspects of Frau Percher is of Frigga. And so I'm saying to myself, well, goddamn, if Frau Percher is an archetype of Frigga, we in serious trouble. If we calling this, you got to understand, you got to, even when we talk about the Kabbalah, and it's about words and about putting together words and saying them. And it says that under certain terms, that if you know the name of an angel, of God, of demons, and whatever it is, you can control it. You see what I'm saying? You can control that. So we don't understand. They look at it as a science. And in the ancient time, we looked at it as a science too. Now, they learned it from us. The vibration of words, the frequency of words and letters and so on, and numbers and so on and so forth. You see what I'm saying? And so, we have to understand that what we're saying, regardless to whether we have knowledge of it or not, is sending out a frequency, is sending out a vibration. You see, and there are spells in the spelling. It's spells in the spelling. And so if you vibrate on that frequency, then you can bring about your own goddamn demise. And I believe a lot of our people, if not a majority of our people, is trapped in this paradigm of Europeanism. You understand what I'm saying? Based on a lot of the terminology, the language, the spelling, the words. We are trapped like a genie in a lamp, and we cannot get out of it because we are self-inflicting ourselves. You see, with the spelling and the spells of these European people, they have us continually calling on these demonic entities over and over, and attaching them to divine creation and shit. And so that alone is and in doing that, you feel me? It clouds our vision of the true divinity of that thing. When we call it Jupiter, who was Zeus, who was a maniac deity. That motherfucker was a maniac. He did, everything he did, and truly, out of all deities in all the world, You see what I'm saying? I mean, as far, just anything goes with Zeus. And even the Europeans will tell you that anything goes, you know? And so he most definitely was not a deity of morality. He was an immoral deity. Zeus was immoral. His father, Kronos, was immoral. Mars was a vindictive, bloodthirsty deity. You see, and here it is, we attach these names, you know what I'm saying, to divine creation of the Most High, and that blurs the frequency. That blurs the frequency. It blurs the frequency. Yes, it do. Ain't no goddamn doubt about it. You can't go through a maniac and let him define shit. And all he know one thing. All his deity, he don't even really have no balance in his deities. All his deities is war deities. Like, goddamn, is it one for this and one? No, all of them bloodthirsty. Every goddamn god he got a place in war. Okay, that's the reality of it. So Frau Percher, who is a goddamn demon, this is Frigga. I say, wow, goddamn, Frigga and Frau Percher, the disemboweler. That's wow. I say that really woke me up. I already knew she was evil, but see, the thing is how they hide her in just like they do with fucking Santa Claus and in many aspects of Christmas and shit. They have hidden a lot of that, that Scandinavian. And when we say these things, we talking about the European expression. We're not talking about the African expression that may be a more ancient, you see, foundation in these areas. So let's make that clear. When we say America, it could be 1,000 cultures over here, but when you say America, you dealing with a time period from when the Europeans took over, and you living within that paradigm. Now, if you want to extend that paradigm to mean, that's on you. That's on you. You can't leave the toasts. You see, that's what we saying. Leave the toasts behind. Leave the toasts behind, because too many of the frequencies are erratic frequencies. If not all the goddamn frequencies is erratic. You see, if not all the goddamn frequencies is erratic. And so, we see here with some of these goddamn Europeans, they be putting the witch hat on the goddamn top of the Christmas tree. So when they practice Christmas, they have a witch. They got witch goddamn trees and shit. They put the witch hat at the top and all this. Nah, in Scandinavia, now I had that. Where is that at? I had this one where they put the angel up here today. They put the angel on top of the Christmas tree today, but in Scandinavia, they put images of Frigga on top. You see, they put images of Frigga on top. And so now today, they because it's been Christianized and things of that nature, now they put the angel, the high, but it's still the same traditions. You see, ain't no goddamn America means European. That's exactly what it means. Okay, that's what it means. It's a colony. It's Americo Vespucci. Okay, so though they, they have created a different expression, many of the ingredients that go into these holidays is from the earlier traditions of the Europeans that come from the continent of Europe. So we got to wake up, family. We got to wake up. We got to understand that the spells are in the spellings. And in the spells and in the spellings, when we vocalize it, is frequencies and vibrations. And when you speak these ill frequency and vibrations, you are invoking energies and frequencies around you, around your family, around your people. And you not understanding that these are self-inflicted curses on our people, because it keeps us contained in the paradox, in the paradigm of the European hell, imprisonment that we've been living in since we've been here. And so I want you to wake up, family. I appreciate your support here on YouTube. Being a member of General Cyrus Sunsetti's YouTube is nothing but an honor to be able to drop this science for your family. We got some more fire coming up real soon. Don't hesitate to be on deck for these presentations. Arm yourself with knowledge. Bang on that wicked ass beast daily. Liberation through African education and confrontation. Black power.